Well, hello everybody, and welcome to my channel. My name is Stephen, the Jupiterian here, with a new video for you. Uh, Saturn through the zodiac signs. Today, well, in this video, we're going to be covering Saturn in Aquarius, the third and final air sign of the zodiac. So, as per usual, here's the tarot card of this is the Light Seers deck from the Light Seers deck, the world from that deck. And here's the Universal Rider Waite deck. Of course, it represents Saturn. And Saturn is the and Saturn is in his rulership in Aquarius, as well as in Capricorn, which we had already covered, all the earth signs. And Capricorn is an earth sign, a cardinal earth sign. Aquarius is a fixed air sign. So instead, stays the distance, very, has a very Saturn in Aquarius. Well, has a detached outlook, yet it's very determined for Saturn in Saturn, and stays the distance, and sees everything through with Spock like abilities from Star Trek. Yes, they're judgmental. Saturn in Aquarius. So here's Aquarius, which is the star card. Very imaginative, futuristic, visionary. They would like to. This card reminds me of the picture from It's a Wonderful Life, where George wants to, well, Mary wants the moon, and George would put a lasso around it and get it for her. Very futuristic. That is what I get from this card. Although this is the Universal Rider Waite from the Universal Rider Waite, where he's like the mad scientist, taking water and mixing it. So he's churning water. He's the water bearer, Aquarius. Not a water sign, he's an air sign. He does have a container where he carries the water. So yeah, this is another thing, because actually the moon is ruled by a water sign, Cancer. So we get the stars of and all the futuristic inventiveness and churning ideas with the planet of Saturn, which is mastery and being an expert, responsible. Actually, boundaries are strong here. Although you would think that with this card, the water is boundaryless. because it's going in a cycle from pouring in, taking the water and moving it around. But hey, that's Aquarius. So the South Saturn, the planet of boundaries, the planet of mastery, expertise, um, the responsible one. And actually, in Aquarius, Saturn in Aquarius is very feels very responsible for the collective, for uh, fighting for a good cause, um, fighting for the future, and they want to be hardworking, very hard work. These Saturn in Aquarius, people with Saturn in Aquarius, Saturn is ruled by in Hellenistic and traditional astrology. And if you have a day chart, then you have more uh, essential dignity because Saturn is in his triplicity in Aquarius. And there is no decan for Saturn in Aquarius. But there is dignity by term if you have Saturn between 0 degrees and 6 degrees of Aquarius. So you'd be extremely diligent and hardworking with those between those degrees 0 and 6 degrees, the early degrees of Aquarius, where you would have and a day chart. Although in a night chart, Aquarius Mercury is the night triplicity of Saturn in Aquarius. So it's very mercurial. And actually, since it's an air sign, I would say that Mercury takes a lot of intellectual effect into that. Very communicative. Communications are very important to someone with a Saturn and Aquarius. Saturn and Aquarius, and actually very idealistic, humanitarian, very progressive, and they're self-starters, very self-reliant, and very open-minded as well. They have an expansive imagination, because yeah. So from this card, I would say they definitely have a very progressive, imaginative, inventive personality for Saturn and Aquarius. Saturn is the taskmaster, the one who is the wise, sage-like person, so, and the Saturn is also the father time, actually has time and mastery in communications and writing, possibly even futuristic, or they're probably very well versed in science fiction as well, because They are futuristic. Science fiction is very futuristic based fiction, not science fiction. Yeah, they are visionary. They see into the future. Lots of science fiction that um, has like 2001: A Space Odyssey. Never thought there would be computers talking to us. That's kind of crazy. And AI, yeah, it's very futuristic. And Saturn and Aquarius, actually you will be able to discern and stay the course, and you actually start with your finish. You stick to something until it is done, or you stay with something and you don't change your mind at all. Um, the fixed energy takes a while for them to change their mind. But Saturn teaches you this. Saturn is the taskmaster. You're learning that Saturn is the like the Saturn in Aquarius is, so I would say that Saturn in Aquarius, the mad science teacher who loves to share all their wisdom and sage knowledge, um, as they share their interesting uh, science experiment. Um, Saturn in Aquarius, yes, um, very knowledgeable, very quirky, but they do it in Saturn is in his rulership. Saturn in Aquarius. So yeah, you would think that it wouldn't be Saturn. That Saturn shouldn't be a ruler of Aquarius, but actually in Aquarius, Saturn does really really well. Um, because they stick to they um, are a really good guide to humanity, or for humanity as well. Um, what else? So Saturn is in his rulership in Aquarius. Day has day. If you have a day chart, then triplicity. You have triplicity for a day chart, and term. The essential dignity of term for 0 to 6 degrees of Aquarius of Aquarius, Saturn in Aquarius. Um, hmm. And a lot of things happened actually when in 2020, right? I'm going to share a chart with you. I'm going to share um, Saturn in Aquarius, because we just had Saturn in Aquarius not too long ago. Yeah. Let me just get rid of something. Actually, no, I'm going to do this. I'm going to show you what I'm doing. we'll get rid of the all but Saturn. And well, actually, this is the asteroid Hippocrate. Hippo, um, Hippocrates, or that's one. That's after the Hippocratic Oath. Hey, actually they have a Hippocrates. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I believe that's Hippocrates or Hippocrates. Um, comes up. Actually, that's like the Hippocratic Oath, named after a Greek physician and philosopher, often called the father of medicine, the author of the Hippocratic Oath. So yeah, that's what this guy is, and that's why I have it. Actually, it's really cool that I have this in my chart, in Sagittarius as well, but in an earlier degree. But that's beside the point. So here's Saturn in Aquarius. And this was back in 2021, or the end of 2020, in January, I believe. Let's move that into 3. So yeah, December 20th, the end of December of 2020, we had Saturn move into Aquarius. And now Saturn is in Pisces and will be moving into Aries in February. Yeah, with Neptune. So that's Saturn in Aquarius. That's what Saturn in Aquarius looks like. And if you remember what happened in 2020, 2021, yeah. Things happened. Things happened. Actually, empires fell and will um, well, capitalism isn't dead. Some people would hope that it would. Um, but actually, there's the we had a world shutdown when Saturn was in Capricorn. So yeah, so, yeah. And Pluto was in Capricorn as well back then as well too. So actually, let's put Pluto in there as well, because Pluto was in Capricorn at this time. I'm be going ahead of. This has nothing to do with Saturn and Aquarius. Sorry, Saturn and Aquarius. I'm going off in tangent, but um, I thought I'd share this with you because actually, hey, Saturn and Aquarius, um, you're otherworldly and humanitarian. You're the humanitarian of the world, bringing back humanitarian ideals and humanitarian um, values. You value humanitarian causes and all that stuff. All right. Well, I'm Stephen the Jupiterian. Thanks for listening and uh, for watching. And if you have Saturn in Aquarius, uh, I would like to share in the comments about what Saturn in Aquarius is for you and how he has helped or hindered um, So if you're a night chart, Saturn really is the greater malefic for you. If you're a night chart, Saturn is the lesser malefic for you. So yeah, uh, depending on the. So yeah, I'm wearing this for because I wanted to be quirky, and I and for Saturn and Aquarius. So there you go. Thanks for listening. Mercury and Aquarius. So there you go. Okay. Thanks for listening. Bye.